infractions are committed, just like the policemen are doing these days. But that does not remove the fact that they make us more secure. So I am looking forward to the fact that these boys should be recalled. Give better. I'm not playing a weapon training because
when you say recalled, they've not been disbanded. No, they're still there. It's just guns that they don't have.
But Canada, you are sitting dogs for criminals.
Okay.
Without weapon, without gun, no matter how light the weapon is, a very light weapon like pump action. These boys are sitting dogs for criminals.
All right then.
And they will keep killing them, demoralizing them, and eventually drive them out of the social communities and become part of the communities once more.
All right.
Let us be very careful and think and do better things for our society.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We are looking for a particular information, and that information, and I know areas where you feel like there has been the resurface of criminal elements that used to be before the advent, the coming, the birth of OSPAC in those communities.
And I do think that the IGP, asking that they surrender their arms would also be as a result of the fact that some of them go out of their way to get very sophisticated weapons.
Of course.
Right? So that also seems to be the problem. Now, if there's a regulation and a register of the kind of weapons given to them and the amount actually given to them, so that the police can, be abreast
and be able to trace when there is
I do think that this would be one of the reasons, right? And then now that they've discovered the problem, I do feel it shouldn't take them so much time for them to be able to issue out the kind of weapons they want them to be, handling and in the right number and proportion. That's
all right, then let's find out who's on the line now. Sorry about that. 95.1 FM.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Canada.
Turn up your radio, please.
Thank you. I'll turn it off.
All right, what's your name?
My name is Alfred.
Alfred, welcome. Talk to me.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Alfred.
Thank you. Sorry, in terms of IG, mopping arms from the vigilante, for me personally, I don't really subscribe to that. But with reason, if you check very well that our Nigerian police, they are not helping matters. I was once a commercial driver before being joined where I'm working today. Their aim standing on the road is not to check vehicles that carrying weapons or anything. Their aim is for commercial drivers to collect money from the commercial drivers. First to give them, they come after you. They decide to park it.
Honorable, off your mic.
No.
Honorable, off your mic. No.
Okay. Yeah, off my mic.
Okay. Be coming down.
All right. So as I'm trying to say, the issue of criminality in the country, if we decide to remove all these vigilante, I think it's not in the best side of the system of this country. So, for my own personal opinion, and I feel that they should allow the vigilantes to carry out, because notice that when you River State now, everywhere is a little bit calm. Comparing to when they were said police and to handle security. Because for me, I used to go to Wari. But if I want to get to Wari, I need to pray, God, take me there and bring me back safely. It's not bad for my vehicle to get accidents, but for the bad boys stopping my car on the road and...
When was the last time? When was the last time you went to Wari?
If I may tell you, I went to about 6 months ago.
So you can't really tell if that place has gone back to the way it used to be before, right?
Presently, I can't tell you, but based on when I used to go there about 2 years ago, the whole was terrible.
All right.
So I'm here to play with the IG. Please, I know he's doing his job. He's trying to at least to make things to the time. At the same time, let him know that single finger cannot remove life on the head. Two good heads is better than one. So that is it.
All right.
Give these guys chance at least and checkmate them. The level they are using is not like all this GP and all those things, but those boys that they are going after. the weapon they are using is more sophisticated than what the Americans are using.
All right, thank you very much.
If they give, all right. Thank you very much.
Alfred, we've got to go. Thank you very much there. Sorry to call you short, but we've got to give room for other people to add their views. All right, let's take this call and then to the text message portal. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from? Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kalada.
I said good afternoon to you. Welcome. What's your name?
I'm Comrade Oluwaseun Savior.
Comrade Oluwaseun Savior. Welcome on the show.
If you could pick my call during that, I know you did not see my number, but I really wanted to talk about your previous topic, but it's gone. Let me talk about this one.
Let the past be in the past now, yeah?
Okay. Now I'm talking about mobbing up the weapons from the local vigilantes. We know how much we are crying for community
policing
in Nigeria. Now, whether we want to accept it or not, just as these OSPAC boys are really doing well. So if the police, for me, my personal opinion though, I feel if the police think there's a way the OSPAC boys are going, Canada, you see, it is quite surprising and very, very worrisome that policemen who even in their station, sometimes when they hear gunshots from criminals, they will take a flee and run away. Some of them will even pull their uniforms and be moving in civil for their dear lives. Whereby these boys who are like people or a goat in the lion den, they say they should not handle even small local double barrel. What are they talking about, for Christ's sake? These boys who perpetuate criminal acts live in the community where these OSPA guys are living. And they are very close to them, and that's to tell you that they are very easy to be eliminated by these criminals. And here are policemen who sometimes from their barrack or to their station with all the sophisticated weapons and the vehicles and what have you, they say those boys should not carry even just a double barrel or a little local pistol. I don't know what is wrong with this, our policemen. Right. They have not been able to meet up to their responsibility, and here are boys who are assisting, helping the community to sleep with two eyes closed. They are here now trying to frustrate them and leave them, make them vulnerable to criminals so that criminals can eliminate them just like chickens. That should not be accepted. They should go back to the drawing board and make sure they begin to do the needful. Right? Them involving themselves with these boys. What is wrong for them? Look at the JTF in the north. They go with the civilian JTF. They go among the military men and the
but even them are supposed to, drop their weapons now.
Have they dropped it? But even saying those boys are weapons, it is very, very wrong. Why don't you checkmate those boys, work with those boys within some time range or time frame, whereby those boys, it's not all policemen that they can submit the rifle to a particular place under the police policy. But not just to say they should not carry arm and they will be going around with empty hand in the patrol with cutlass and knife. How can a man with AK-47, somebody with knife?
Have you watched the American movies? It's possible. You could just use your machete and do like Van Damme and.
Thank God you say it's movies.
Canada, you call it movie now. You call it movie. We are talking about real life.
All right.
Canada, even only the sound of the AK-47 when police, I said they flee.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. Sam. We've got to go. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you very much, there. Let's read some messages now. First of all, on Facebook from Lazarus Yushao Joshua John says, Kala, once again, as for security, as a matter of fact, I am not from River State, but from the north. But you know that the aspect has done a lot in River State because they know in and out of the state. But the policeman maybe brought from up north, how do you expect that person to know in and out of the state? Kala, as a matter of fact, the police should be removed or use this aspect in every state. Okay, I think I lost that. Okay, let's see what's on the text message portal. I think I lost the message I was trying to read here on Facebook.
All right, this one says, seriously, I don't know who advises our federal government withdrawing arms from us back was a misplaced priority. We all know our policemen can't fight criminality, especially here in River State. I'm from one of the volatile communities in Emoha. Right now, there's a fear from the villagers. Crime is resurfacing again. The Ospac is powerless, and the bad boys are gaining momentum. This one says, Ospac arms are withdrawn, but Cowben arms are not withdrawn. What does that mean? This nation missed its way 4 or 5 years past. That's coming from Mr. Waribo. This one says, good day, Canada and Wealth. It's unfortunate that Nigerian police is threatened by the popularity of the local security outfits. The local security apparatus was doing what the police couldn't do, hence they are threatened. The police is endangering lives by mopping up arms from the local security, whereas the police has only one duty of extorting innocent people. The Ospac in River State had kept the criminals in their hideouts, but the reverse is now the case. On your fine face, good town.
Off your mic.
This one says, I think you sent that message twice, Mr. Waribo. This one says, well, if you say the guys carry sophisticated weapons, probably you haven't seen civilian JTF in the north. Highest weapon these guys carry is pump action, not AK-47. The truth of the matter is that they're not even supposed to be allowed to carry such sophisticated weapon. Doesn't make it right.
We are Niger Deltans. I keep telling people, we have the power to fight with our weapons, and they are just trying to test our power. I mean, you guys should stop. Don't worry about it.
All right.
We have Van Damme and Arnold Schwarzenegger. We use our bare hands. Don't worry.
Okay, this one says, good afternoon to you all. I'm a Birin drawing from PH. Let the truth be told. Police asking the vigilante boys to return their guns to police. Then what do they expect the boys to use to protect themselves and the locals? This one says, good afternoon, Kalada. And the civilian JTF work with the Nigerian soldier in the northeast. They stopped using those guns? Okay. This one says, Kalada and Wealth, are you not aware that the bad boys was on rampage in Choba yesterday?
Oh, interesting. Tell me something. I'm not aware. I didn't hear of it.
He said, be realistic for once. I am CY from Choba.
CY, I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry. You just informed me right about now. Oh, so they are back to Choba.
All right. This one says, good afternoon, Kalada and Wealth. The IGP justification for the mopping up of arms from the vigilantes, the fear that some persons are not licensed to use firearms, and as such, some of those arms are used for criminal activities. The police have been involved in most of the criminal activities in the country. The focus should be on disarming the terrorist Fulani headmen, Uwem Thomas.
Yeah, back to Juba. No more night. No more night walk.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. The truth of the matter is that let's all be very truthful, right?
Okay.
Now, this Ospac boys, we don't know which of them is mentally stable.
True.
To handle. I mean, we keep talking about policemen who are depressed, frustrated, and they just accidentally, in quotes, discharge.
Is the accidental.
Right. So you see, the truth of the matter is maybe we should be even more cautious, right? We should have plans for our solutions.
You mentioned training and reorientation.
Have we trained these boys? Have we given them the proper orientation? How did we select them? As in, do we know, their background and their mental state as well? Okay. So all of these things are things we need to check. I'm not saying that it is all right to disarm these boys and, leave them vulnerable to the bad guys, because right now they would be threats. They were threats, and apparently now that they don't have arms, who knows what, would be their fate.
I'm sticking with my joke for today. Like I said, the IGP must have heard about the strength of the Niger Delta, and is saying, we will go. Let's see how they can deal with that. But let's see what we have on Facebook. I was reading a message and I stopped at the part where it says that, as a matter of fact, the police should be removed or use this aspect in every state, and the state should control it, Kala, because they would know in and out of their area. And those that are saying Ospac not doing their work will Kala, okay, so Kala is the police doing their own as well. All right, Lazarus, Ishao, Joshua, John, thank you very much for that one. Gospel Chimalim Woke says, I subscribe to us back carrying arms since the hoodlums in their their opponents, are carrying sophisticated arms, but they should be properly scrutinized and monitored by the police. Now,
Simple.
Indu Kaku Nwamadu says, good afternoon. What you see in Nigeria now, both what many media houses are, what is playing out. It was on this, I'm not getting, he said, what you see in Nigeria now, both what many media houses are, what is playing out. It was on this station or your station that we always hear that boys are jacked 18-seaters boss, but because the lack of telling truth, both media houses are now asking us questions. All right then. All right. Let's.
What I didn't follow through with.
I don't even understand it. Me that read it. So let's go back to the phone lines. Confusing text message there. 95.1 FM. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello there, good afternoon once more.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bright.
Yes. Ospac carrying arms and then disarming Ospac. How did they get the arms they are bearing for the first place?
That's a question we did not ask. Interesting.
It would have been given to them by the higher security outfit. That's the police, right?
Oh, sure. Because, I mean,
no, that's how it's supposed to work.
When
there was the plan to start up the local security outfits, the police comes in and then gives them, whatever orientation and then give them arms. That's how it should be.
No, I don't think police gave them arms. That's another wonderful question. We need to find out about that very one.
Okay, now that should be our concern. And that is what the police is doing. From what source were the arms given to them?
All right.
And if there is an illegal source from which arms get to people and they are parading it in the society, from what source do the criminals get their arms? So we have a bigger problem. The problem of allowing a source through which an arms circulates in the society in the guise of security is greater than the security, is a bigger problem than the security itself. Now, there is...
Mr. Bryce, let me pause you. Now that you've asked that question, Wealth just brought my attention to the fact that the police has been working in connection with these vigilantes. So if these arms were gotten from illegal sources, why did the police not do anything about it? I mean, in those days when crime was all over the state, most especially.
They are doing something you wouldn't know. Do you know how many times they have talked about arresting illegal arms given to them?
No, here's the thing, Mr. Bright. This is what I was trying to explain. If they've been working hand in hand with the police, it would be that the police is aware that they have illegal arms. And if that is the case, for how long now have they been working together and they did not bring this awareness or stop the illegal arms being given to this boy? So it would simply mean one thing. It's either the police is aware or had given them or issued them those arms, and then some of them are working with illegal arms. Or I think the blame would also fall on the police if that's not the case. All right, then. Lost you on that one. Let's go back to the phone lines now. 95.1 FM. All right, just hold on there. All right, we have issues with the phone lines. We'll just try to get that one sorted out. But as that goes on, I think we should be taking some text messages here. This one is coming from Chris. So Chris says, good afternoon, Kalada and Wealth. Before in a week, how many times bad boys always hijack buses inside bush? Please, when did you read news like that again? I don't get your message, Chris. This one says, police should return back the gun to Ospac for proper discharge of their duties. And that's coming from Godwin. This one says, Wealth, if you ask how many Ospac members are mentally stable, how many policemen are mentally stable considering they've killed more Nigerians in recent times? And when I made mention of that, I also mentioned to you that we have policemen who in court accidentally discharged, and then we hear that they're not, they're being depressed or frustrated and blah, blah, blah. I did not give them a reason, right? That wasn't the intention of that comment. This one says, Kaladan Wells, good afternoon, Wale from Rumonduru. Honestly, it's all political for the IGP to drop off vigilante arms. It's unfair. How many of our policemen are physically fit compared to Ghanaian police officers? How about Ospak decides to join the bad gang? Is that not deadly? All right. This one says, it is very appalling and devastating that the police enforce the withdrawal of arms from Ospak, whereas they are problem. They are the problem we have, I think. That's coming from Chooks in HA.
All right, let's take one or two more calls because we are almost out of time and wrap up the show. 95.1 FM, what's your name? Where are you calling in from? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
hello, Canada.
Good afternoon, Lawson.
Yes, greetings. When people say where did the Ospak has made it clear that they work with the police. I travel the East-West Road. They are with the police. I see them with the police.
Nobody has denied the fact that they don't work in collaboration with the police. But the question is, where did they get their arms from? Because the police, if the police gave them the arms, then the police would not be asking them probably to surrender the arms. Look at it from the angle as well.
That is what I am saying. I just like what West is saying. The police is with them. The police is seeing these arms. If these arms are illegal arms, the police definitely will take it from them.
Mm-hmm.
So the police not taking it from them, working with them means the police is well aware of these arms.
Okay.
Right,
yes, the police is well aware of these arms. So you cannot look at a vigilante group. Do you know there is a policeman who lives close to me here? He told me plainly he moves in two sets of clothes, his uniform and plain clothes. When he hears Goa, he quickly runs around to the back and change and then to Mufti. You understand? So, on spot, what they are doing, I don't think the police will take these arms from them. I don't think so. If you check that the just this week now, just yesterday, my mother supplied the road freely. The road is free. I don't think the police will be stupid enough to take those weapons from. Yes, you may see it. Everything is happening, but you don't know what happens behind. You understand?
Okay. You're saying in the spotlight, Ospak has surrendered, but in the undercover, Ospak is still carrying weapons. Is that what you're saying?
Good, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're saying, just like what Chris was saying, most of these incidents, Omeredu Owere, Elele Owere, Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, and other, your radio station don't fail to report it, Owere. So, how many have you reported? If it happens, it will not hide.
Someone just called in and said Choba and Emoa.
Choba, those are their usual. It will be their usual issues. But I'm telling you that the East-West Road, we try it.
But then again, you see, with Ospak in full operation, there were no usual issues.
Yes, because so long as that the Ospak is there, the Ospak himself, they are not stupid now.
Right.
If I tell you, if somebody tell you, Canada,
we've got to go, Lawson. We're out of time. Thank you very much.
So
thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Skippo sent something on WhatsApp. Says, Mr. Bright telling me that local government cannot acquire legal arms.
No,
These guys work for local government.
They can't actually. Even the state government cannot
acquire legal arms.
Yes,
but I do feel that if Ospak in the first place, had any possession to arms and then working together with the police should be informed,
of course,
or should be aware.
Of course. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Canada and Lady Wilson, talking about security in Rivers. Have been brutal since the IGP issued vigilantes security to surrender their gun. This has given those criminals more advantage of coming back in those communities with more havoc experience. All right, that's the much we can take. It's time for today's Sports Live to do their thing. Well, we'll see Kalada signing out and Emeka Dina taking the I wanted to say the wheels of steel.
Emeka Dana.
Right. I keep making that mistake. I'm sorry. I wanted to say the wheel of steel, but I just realized it's not the music registration.
It's okay. Right. By the way, Arsenal won yesterday.
Yes, of course. It's no longer news. I mean,
it's okay.
Arsenal is always winning. No longer news.
Winning unimportant games.
Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. Hello, my name is Kanu Wanko, aka Papilo. For the latest and trending sports stories, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
Oh, and it's Kanu Wanko right now. Kanu Wanko moving the ball from the central midfield. Oh no, Kanu Wanko crosses over to Jejo Kocha and it's a goal!
What is this magic? I need that magic.
Updates, yeah. Oh yeah, baby, see how it's a go. Hey, Sangalo is a go. Shana Wale is a go. Escobar is a go. Toros is a go. Naira Mali is a go. Olosho is a go. Ainadin is a go. 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 Ongo is a go. Oh, this is a go. Is a go, is a go, is a go, Jamie Wale is a go, whoa, this is a go, Malosun, this is a very good afternoon to you all out there. Welcome to yet another exciting and loaded edition of Today's Sports Live, reaching you from the studios of your premium news talk and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. The Mecca Dinners, my name, the Odogu One of Sports, and the guys are here in the building. Superman, Wisdom Obina is signed up for this one. Superman, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to you, Emeka. Good afternoon to you listening. It's always a pleasure to be here, and a whole lot happening in the world of sports, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk about them again.
All right, the CJN is also in the building. Chidu Bemun Joko, the Chief Justice of Sports, signs up for this one as well. Chidu Bemun, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Emeka. It's good to be here.
All right, we go to the menu. Novak Djokovic is talking. He says Nadal is the favorite to win the French Open. Do you agree with him? Remember, just recently, last week or so, Nadal was beaten in the quarterfinals of the Rome Masters by an unexpected opponent, Diego Schwartzman of Argentina, who was beating himself by Djokovic. Of course, Djokovic claimed the title right there in Rome. Now, Djokovic is telling us that Nadal remains the favorite, having won 12 times already at Roland Garros, that he will be the volume favorite to win the title, even though he thinks someone can equally beat him. Elsewhere in football, Finidi George, remember him? Finito, yes, the wing wizard. He says he's ready for coaching jobs in the Nigerian national teams. Any of them that is ready, it's up to the NFF now to give him any of the coaching jobs. He has worked with the youth team of Real Mallorca in the past. He has one of the finest coaching certifications over there in Europe, and he says he's ready now to work with any of the national teams in Nigeria. And we're asking, should he be given any of the jobs? Under 17, Flying Eagles, that's under 20, under 23, or even the Super Eagles at some point. Do you think this man is ripe for that one? And later this evening, the UEFA Super Cup will take center stage. It will be between Bayern Munich, the Champions League winners, and of course the Europa Cup holders, the Europa League holders. Are talking about Sevilla. It will be going down tonight in Hungary, right? And of course, we're asking who do you think will win this one. We saw these two teams do the almost unthinkable last season, doing quite well in the respective competitions, and they'll be coming head to head against each other this evening. Who do you think will win that one? How about the UEFA awards? We have Manuel Neuer from Bayern Munich. We also have Robert Lewandowski, the goal machine from Poland and Bayern Munich, as well as Kevin De Bruyne for the men's award. Who should get it? Big question we have for you. But it looks like the answer is simple, right?
It's not that simple.
You think so?
Quite simple.
It's not that simple.
The man that was supposed to even win the Ballon d'Or.
It's only becomes
the Ballon d'Or, the FIFA the best. If it had taken place this year, do you think anybody would have denied Robert Lewandowski?
We've seen stranger things happen. It's possible that maybe a certain Kevin might even have a chance.
We also
have the transfer tidbits on the show today. Chelsea have gotten their new goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, £22 million
Edward Mendy. So trouble now for Kepa Arrizabalaga, the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, who usually fumbles and wumbles and tumbles all the time.
Maybe the giant inside can still come out.
Okay, we'll wait and see. The show is interactive, so you know already what we'll be talking about. So feel free to start reacting. Send your messages via text or WhatsApp to 070-1933-9962. That's 070-1933-9962. Who wins the UEFA Best Player for the outgoing season? We are talking about Robert Lewandowski, Manuel Neuer, the goalkeeper of Bayern Munich. Both of them play for Bayern Munich. And of course, the Man City assist provider, the one and only Kevin De Bruyne. Three of them shortlisted, for the award for the men's category. Who do you think will get it? The ladies are also, in the mix. I'm sure a lot of you don't know too much about women's football in Europe. So let me not bother you with their names and all that, but we'll still talk about them in the course of the show. So start sending those messages via text or WhatsApp. On Twitter, we are TodayFM951 at TodayFM951. Copy Wisdom at Wisdom_OB at Wisdom_OB. That's O for orange, B for banana. And later, we'll be throwing the phone lines wide open for you to have your say. Don't go anywhere. The show will be right back after this timeout. All right, we started the show this afternoon from the world of tennis, where Serbian tennis superstar Novak Djokovic labeled Rafael Nadal as the top favorite to win this year's French Open, but added that the Spaniard is beatable. The French Open will start on Sunday out there at Roland Garros. And Nadal, a record 12-time French Open champion, suffered a shock Diego Schwartzman loss in the Rome Masters quarter-final. Now, a few days later, world number one Djokovic beat Schwartzman in the final to win a record 36th Masters title. Now, let me quote Djokovic, what he said about Nadal and the French Open. He says, well, as I said, it's Nadal. Even though he lost this week, I think, that was actually last week, I still think, a lot of people will agree. He's the number one favorite and the record that he has there. Now, the history of his results, you just can't put anybody in front of him. But, definitely Diego showed that Nadal is beatable on clay. I know he likes the high bounce. He likes the hot and warm and fast conditions where he can use his spin a lot. So, let's see. It's going to be interesting. I think even though he's the number one favorite, I think there are players that can win against him there. Djokovic speaking about Rafael Nadal's chances at the French Open that commences on Sunday. It's supposed to be the second Grand Slam of the year, but now it's the third and the last for this year, as a matter of fact, no thanks to the coronavirus pandemic. Chidube, let me start with you. Do you see any problems for Rafael Nadal at this year's French Open? Looking at what Djokovic has highlighted about the weather and what have you and the conditions.
Well, I really don't want to say the weather is so much of a problem, although it could be, because looking at when it's being played, it's not played at the usual time when it was supposed to be played. But I don't think that should be much of an issue. If Nadal will have a problem, it has to be Djokovic himself, because we all know rather that Djokovic is the one player among the three superstars now in tennis. That's himself, Nadal, and Federer, of course, who is the most comfortable on all surfaces. It doesn't matter if it's clay, if it's hard court or grass or whatever. And Djokovic has proven to be a tough man.
But if you put him side by side with what Nadal has done,
definitely,
then his one French Open title is nowhere near Nadal's 12 at the same Grand Slam.
Sure, definitely. You can't say easily. You can say easily that Nadal is the king of clay, but you then ask yourself, apart from clay, what else do we know that Nadal for? It's difficult to point, but the man Djokovic,
4 US Open titles.
4 US Open titles. Come on, we don't want to go back into that. Let me dig into Djokovic's history and tell you that he's got. So I'm just saying that Djokovic is an all-rounder. Yes, the French, hard court now is not his best of tough, so to speak, but he's also managed some good results or performances on them.
You mean clay court?
Clay court, rather. And you look at this time out, Nadal himself going out. I think we shouldn't make so much of getting knocked out because he still has the big one ahead of him. The French Open, it doesn't get bigger than that. I mean, if for nothing, the fact that he's done it over and over again there.
12 times.
I mean, the memories of his victories are enough to push him through the competition. I mean, we see these things in big competitions. We talk about football, for instance, the Champions League.
No, but you know, these guys will not just lie down there and allow him roll over them.
They won't. They've always been there when he was winning the titles. You know, it's not like they're going to come out of the blue or something. But I think his major oppositions will still remain the major oppositions. Novak Djokovic, maybe Dominic Thiem, because we know him. Many people have touted him to be the Prince of Clay, and he's a man that can push Nadal to the limit as well. So apart from these two guys, I think the others will be the regulars, be the usual hard opponents and all that, but I think it's still Nadal the favorite to win this one.
All right, Nadal's still the favorite to win. Superman, if you look at current form, you want to think otherwise. Djokovic is unbeaten this year. Forget about what happened in US Open, the defaulting and what have you. He hasn't lost a match this year, as a matter of fact. Going on current form, would you want to bet against Djokovic at the French Open?
Well, if you want to look at the records, you definitely bet against him. For a man who has won over 19 Grand Slam titles and 12 of them was on this particular surface and, of course, in the French Open, you definitely tend to believe that he'll get it over a man who has just tasted it once, despite winning at least 17 now in the process. So I want to believe that Rafael Nadal still remains the favorite, but then again, as you said, if you look at the current form, and fitness might also be one thing that might be going in favor of Novak Djokovic. Djokovic has been playing. As a matter of fact, you just talked about it. He was part of the US Open where he was barely disqualified. Who knows? He would have gone on to also win that one or get to the final. So I think for me, that's one thing I'm not too sure that is on the side of Rafael Nadal, who could not even hold his own in the Masters, even though we know that at times that happens to him and he still goes on to win the French Open. Yeah, exactly. So I think he's still the overwhelming favorite, Emeka, Rafael Nadal, that is, but be that as it may, Novak is in the form of his life. And one thing I know someone like Novak would want to do, especially when you hear him in these press conferences, he would want to wrestle this title away from the grasp or hands of Rafael Nadal, who, of course, the past 15 years, you can pick the years that he missed it, including the one Novak won in 2016, 2-5, 2-7, 2-8, go down and on and on and on. Only, I think, 2-15 and all that, 1 or 2 or that, just 3 years.
2-9 was beaten by Robbie Sutherland in the first round.
In the last
Djokovic won that year against Sutherland. Yeah.
You can actually...
Federer won against Sutherland in 2009.
12 of the last 15, Emeka. It's incredible, and it's something that no bookmaker would want to actually bet his money or what have you against Rafael Nadal. But on current form, you would have to believe that Novak Djokovic has something going for him.
All right. Look at the past 2 editions of the French Open. One man has played in the final, even though Nadal won both occasions. It was a repeat of, in fact, the 2018 and 2019 finals. Similar. Nadal versus Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem has won a Grand Slam finally. He beat Zverev to win the US Open. Yes, they didn't play the Rome Masters. He rested. And he will be coming for the French Open. Don't you think it's time for this man to also grab the French Open, having played in back-to-back finals?
Definitely has to be time for him. He should be telling himself that he's finally done it. That's winning the Grand Slam. And despite the fact that he did it against his fellow struggler now, talking about Zverev. When I say struggler, I mean struggling to get to the level of those big three. And this is something they've been trying their whole career. Dominic Thiem is not a young man anymore. I think he's 26 or so.
27.
27 now. That is not a young man, like I said. At 27, the other three had, I think, at least 10 Grand Slams each, if I'm not mistaken. And getting to 27 and just having one, it's enough to push you to do better. And this is a court that he's very, very comfortable on, talking about the clay courts. And apart from Nadal, he is the man that, and of course, Djokovic, judging by his form and also pedigree, he's the man we should be looking out for. He's been at the final twice in the past 2 years, and you can't bet against him getting to the final again. Except for the luck of the draw. That is, maybe he gets to meet Djokovic and maybe something happens, because it's going to be a tough one. But I think if he's lucky enough and doesn't meet Nadal before the final, it looks very, very possible or plausible now that he gets to the final, because he's the man that has done it. And I think the motivation of winning the Grand Slam just recently is enough to push him all the way. I mean, even the manner in which he won it was not something that happened so easily. At some point, I was thinking Zverev was going to take that one, because he took the first set, was quite comfortable in the second, and I was expecting something, of the miraculous if Thiem was going to win. But come on, he came out with such a miracle and won that one. So I think that's at the back of his head, should be able to push him all the way this time around, knowing that he's done it before and he can do it.
All right, it's still early days. Yes, we're expecting the draws to take place tomorrow. But looking ahead, who wins it for you? Let me start with you, Chidubem. For the guys, who wins the French Open for you?
My money is on Nadal. But I think Thiem might just give us a shocker.
Okay, Superman.
Thiem has had a fine season, but I mean, it doesn't make me even think of putting it on him. Nadal still remains the man.
Okay, we'll wait and see. So you guys, you are ruling out Djokovic for this one.
I'm not ruling out. I mean, it's clear. Picking him as a favorite is something that is a no-brainer.
Okay.
Knowing that he's been at this. I mean, Nadal, he's been at this kind of position before, where he even loses out woefully in the
qualifying tournaments,
Masters and what have you, and goes on to still win it. So, I mean, it's to take something out of the
judges are not out yet, but in my head, I'm just doing the maths that
Djokovic and Nadal will be in the separate sides.
I'm just thinking.
Djokovic is number one, he's number two.
I'm just thinking in my head.
Nadal, so either of them will try praying to avoid Thiem.
Exactly.
Their own half of the
and
draw.
whoever takes on Thiem, I think Thiem might. Djokovic now.
I'm hoping Thiem takes on Djokovic in the semi-final. And then Thiem knocks him out. I'm just seeing it in my head. It's a mental picture.
And it's been the finest year for Thiem too.
For the third consecutive year.
It's the best we can ask for on the clay court. Really.
All right, let's leave tennis and talk football. More on French Open to come tomorrow also, as we build up to the last Grand Slam of the year by default, as it were. It's time to talk football, and former Super Eagles winger Finidi George has restated his readiness to take up a coaching role in any of the national teams. However, the 49-year-old ex-Ajax star, who holds a UEFA coaching license, admits that the final decision lies with the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, who are expected to name coaches for the various age-grade national teams in the coming days. The 1994 Africa Cup of Nations winner, who has never hidden his desire to handle any of the national teams, has been severally linked with the Golden Eagles coaching role, having previously worked with the youth team of his former club, Real Mallorca, in Spain. The former Real Betis and Calabar Rovers dazzling winger stated categorically that he remains willing to coach Nigeria at any level, adding that he is hopeful it will come to pass.
I think I'm ready, but it doesn't depend on me. I just have to wait to see what the NFF are willing to do. If I'm appointed, I'm willing to do the job. So I'm just with my fingers crossed, and I hope they will come up with a list very soon. I don't know when, but we'll just hope I'm appointed.
I'm the best, so I pick up my chest.
Finidi George, Finito, who forgets his goal against Greece at the World Cup in 1994 and the celebration that followed thereafter. Finidi George, of course, was a key member of the Ajax team that won the Champions League in 1995. They beat AC Milan 1-0 in that final. Yes, Juan Kwakano also played that match. It was Kluivert that scored the only goal of the encounter. Patrick Kluivert. Of course, he also played for Spanish sides Real Betis and Real Mallorca before moving over to then Premiership side Ipswich Town in 2001. They got relegated almost immediately, and he was capped 62 times by the Super Eagles from 1991 to 2002, scoring 6 goals in the process, including the opener against Greece in that 2-0 win at the USA 94 World Cup. Finidi George, he's now a coach, certified coach, says he's ready, but he admits that he can't just jump into the job. The NFF have got to give him the job. That's if they want to employ him. Superman, has Finidi done enough in terms of coaching experience to earn a national team job, be it the Golden Eagles, Flying Eagles, under 23, or even the Super Eagles? Even though there's no vacancy at the Super Eagles now.
Well, on the basis of his certification, I would want to say he has done well enough to get one of our age grade teams. And maybe if there was anything like an assistant coach offer available, which I know is not available at the moment, he is also probably qualified for that. But on the basis of experience...
How do you know that the assistant coach is not available? Well, I'm not talking about Super Eagles. Though.
No, it's Super Eagles I'm talking about.
Okay. No, just a few boys there already.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any chance for him to probably get in there at the moment, but... Since there are vacancies in the under-17s and under-20s, be it as the head coach, be it as the assistant, I think he qualifies for those positions. In terms of experience as a coach, I don't think he has enough to beat his chest and say, okay, I want to coach a big team. And most of these coaches are scared of coaching in the MPFL because they know the terrain.
Things work differently.
The terrain is not very, very friendly to them.
But I recall Henry Makinwa, the Casina United coach, calling out Lady George to come and coach in the MPFL. Yes.
I would even advise a lot of them to come, but they would always call us to avoid.
They will owe you for 7 months, and at the end of the day, you will regret ever coming back.
There's a cliche that says misery loves company.
As they check the past questions, they would definitely not want to be part of it. But be that as it may, Mecca, I think he qualifies for the under-17s. He has had a very good experience as a player. He's been in a lot of teams.
It's different to play
coach.
And to coach.
I know.
He played at the highest
for sure,
level
Mecca.
as a footballer, but in coaching, things work differently.
No, I'm looking at what he brings to the table if he was to make an under-17 coach now.
Okay.
In terms of an experience, the only experience I really feel he can say, yes, I can motivate these players. I can tell them I've done it before. I played for Nigeria all through. I played in the biggest teams too. Some of the biggest teams now.
More or less be a role model to a lot of
exactly.
Players.
So
that's a lot of them, maybe they didn't even watch him, so to say.
Very true. I mean, you want to be an under-17 player now, you must be born around 2001, 2002, 2003.
2003, 2004. Yeah. So as of 2002, he has retired from national team football.
There is no way that probably
they will see clips.
Yeah. So I really.
But they might have watched him.
You might know. Yeah.
You just leave it at that. You won't go to okay. But really, I do feel that's what he has, and I feel we should give him a chance. The question would be, where do we give him this chance?
Exactly.
Maybe in the under-17s and whatever.
But some people say, even in the under-17, that we can even make him an assistant coach to one of these experienced coaches we are talking about. Now, remember, Amuneke started as an under-17 assistant to Manu Garuba, 2013. 2 years later, he was promoted. He took the team to the World Cup as well and won. But Manu Garuba was promoted to the under-20 and all that. So would that be too little for him to start as an assistant on the 17 coach? Because from the look of things, Chidubem, there's a rumor going around social media and other media platforms that they have already decided the coaches for the age grade national teams. Here is it. They say Ladamboso is coming back as the under-20 coach. He was there in 2007
when they
Flying Eagles.
That's Nichejile.
Yes, exactly.
When they lost in the quarterfinal.
Yes, to Chile. Brani Deye, that's Nichejile, Kechukwu
Bala Michael.
Then what's his name? Haruna Elerika for the under-15 job. The under-15, the
Future
Eagles. Then under-17, who did they even give it to?
Come on.
I've seen that. I saw that list somewhere. They gave the under-17 to... Okay, can't really remember now, but it's been decided already.
These names are not encouraging.
They decided those ones already. Under-17, under-20, and under-15, the Future Eagles. So you're beginning to wonder, even if they are to give anything to Finidi, he has to be as an assistant at this point.
Maybe he didn't cry out on time.
No, he's been crying out. He's been crying out. He's been crying out. See, the other man, Eddie Dombrai, cried out severally. Nobody listened. You understand? He even wanted to come to the MPFL, but I don't know. Somehow, maybe his agent was not able to arrange something for him.
The thing is that there's a politics behind this thing. You don't just because you're in Europe and because you believe you have all the qualifications. You just walk into the national thing. We know how things happen here in Nigeria. It's usually a case of who you know and all that. Somebody has to refer you, except for maybe the Super Eagles job that you don't joke with, because we know that that's where most of the funding comes with. So the politics is usually reduced at that level. But at the younger levels, most times it comes across as compensation for the coaches, more like they are trying to.
And there's a lot of intrigues in fighting to eventually get the understanding. Because there are so many people that are qualified for it. Manu Garba will tell you that he has experience at under 17. Exactly, he has done that severally.
And honestly, to be honest, Finidi doesn't really have that experience, and you have to look at these things.
But he has worked with a youth team already in Mallorca.
Yes, he has.
Is football not the same in Spain and Nigeria?
There are lots of coaches all over the world that have worked.
You're even laughing at.
There are lots of coaches all over the world that have done that. But the thing is true. On that basis, he could do that as well, because we are talking about the same thing. Youth teams here, youth team here, same thing, but. This is a national level. You have to pick the best from the bunch. You don't just pick somebody because he's done it before. Like I said, there are thousands of coaches, maybe hundreds, that have done the same thing that Finidi has managed. So
exactly.
It's not like he was the youth team manager of a Real Madrid or a Barca or even an Arsenal that have very viable youth squads or something. And there is nothing particularly credible about what he has done. Like,
maybe he won the under-20 competition in Spain.
Or even managed
did that,
bring up boys that
we can reckon with today. Exactly,
there's nothing particular fantastic about with it. So on that basis, it might not really be the man for the job. But I think it's good. It's a good thing he's crying out. He's beginning to get the ears, or he has been getting the ears as he intensifies it. Maybe in the coming years.
But come to think of it, there are so many other ex-internationals that are coaches today with the same coaching qualification. Olise is still there. Amuneke is still there. They have the certification. Mutua Dekpojus of this world.
Yeah, but
even those of them that are not ex-international, Paul Like Bogun has got the same qualification. You can go on and on. The man that is there with the Casina United today, Henry Makinwa, trained in Spain as well. Has the UEFA coaching license.
That's what I'm saying. That there's nothing particularly special about Finidi George. So he has.
The Amokachis of this world, the Guavans of this world.
He has to learn the ropes. He has to start small. That's why he's crying out now.
That's why I'm asking whether he can be appointed an assistant coach to the under-17 head coach.
It all boils down to him as a person. Can he step down his ego now to say, I want to accept this role?
After Lamuneke did it.
Exactly, but he's not the youngest of persons anymore. He's 49. I mean, starting your career at 49 is quite late to me, I think.
As a coach.
But it's not too late. Never too late for anything. He could start now.
He's older than Lampard already.
Yeah, he is.
Even Steven Gerrard.
Older than Arteta that has won an FA Cup and coming to show. Come on. So he could even further.
But you begin to wonder, with all these qualifications, how come the Europeans don't give them jobs often?
It's a thing, really. The thing is, as much as you have these qualifications, they also have people who have these same qualifications. So what exactly are you bringing to the place that is above what they have? Some people will choose to call it exactly. No, he's been doing well.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't be surprised if he gets a bigger offer because he's shown us that
he won the league.
I don't think any sensible human being will see a performing person and keep him aside. We've seen it with the former Chelsea man now, Emenalo. He was good at what he did. Yeah. Although the whole shenanigans about his departure and all that are still lingering. But they kept him on the job because he was good at what he did. Look at Edu from Brazil for Arsenal now. Brazil is not the most popular country when it comes to football in Europe. But come on, he's there because of what he can do. So I think if our managers are that good, they will get bigger offers. It's not rocket science. Well, Stephen Keshi was one of the most sought after managers on the continent. No, he didn't. He wasn't based in Europe.
But just to add, there is also some level of I won't say racism, but
no, you have said it already.
They don't really regard some of these coaches. Now, there was an example some time ago that was at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement thing when we're comparing coaches. So Campbell wanted to start Southend that were in whatever. They even gave him the under 15 as at when he was starting.
Where Rudy was next player manager at Derby County after Lampard
but
left.
Steven Gerrard walked straight to Rangers and they had exactly the same qualifications. Frank Lampard started at Derby County, exactly the same qualifications with Sol Campbell. So I won't believe that you would show us what you have if we don't give you a chance. You don't just show it with saying it. Like Finidi could come in now and win everything in the under 17, moves on the 20, moves to the maybe gets to Samson Kessiasia's level now. You never can tell. But if you don't give them the chance, I mean, how would you actually get?
Okay, they're not usually getting those chances abroad.
They don't get the chance.
They're not usually getting those chances abroad.
For you
to high time to bring them back home. We brought them back home here, and make good use of them.
We don't have the structure. But just to say, I think it's local content. Every country wants to push its own. If we had a good league here in Nigeria, I mean, a well-functioning league, I don't think we want to pick somebody from South Africa or even from Europe, so to speak. That's if it was that good to come here and take jobs from our own when we have people here.
Exactly, I can do exactly the same thing. We say qualification.
So I think it's basically local content. So I wouldn't want to blame them for that or call it segregation or whatever. But I'm thinking bringing those coaches down here. It's the same thing as telling our players over there to come here.
No, it's true. Here it's actually the reverse.
If the MPFL was as good as the EPL, do you think anybody will leave Nigeria? Any player will leave Nigeria?
That's what I'm saying. They won't want to do that.
No, here we don't actually promote our own. Like maybe you want to say the English guys do. I mean,